Hello and welcome to Ideas with Diana, episode 613 on August 11, 2023. This is the second episode I've made today. I'm very inspired today because of the Luna 25 launch. And also, this episode is an update on the Makerspace IoT, or as I call it, KIOT, Kanecki IoT projects, with some links to other people in the project, as to Becky Stern, and also the one person that does the DroneBot workshop, who I watch both their videos, and I feel they're wonderful. They're wonderful in aiding the community. But before we start, even though I'm a makerspace and also a Linux chick, I like the Barbie movie too. I got the L edition and I got the special people edition of Barbie magazine of the Barbie from the Barbie movie. I'm gonna see the Barbie movie again also when it comes out on streaming, and I did see Oppenheimer with friends. Very good movies. And that. So, and with Oppenheimer, I'm glad how they talked about some of the internal things that Oppenheimer went through, because my step grandfather actually worked in the atomic Manhattan Project with Oppenheimer. Um, Before he came to the United States, he lived in Salzburg, and he, quote, received an invitation from the Nazis to join a captured Niels Bohr in Copenhagen. And I'm glad my step grandfather was able to make it to the United States and work for the United States. Also in the movie, I'm glad to see that showed that they were able to get Niels Bohr back to the United States in '44. That's a fact of history I wasn't aware of, but I'm glad to see that. But now going into the makerspace. A few months ago, I talked about one project I was working on, a special amplifier for sound. This is the breadboard version. The breadboard version is ready and it works. You can see the power supply, the dip switches for setting the opcode, the mask, the data, and also you can have 8 inputs. This is the one output wire. These are the input wires. And the other thing, what happens is this is going to be available in a PCB board about October 1st. Now it's just a matter of me coding this in KiCad 7 to make the PCB board. Now another version of this that is microcontroller based. This one is done. This one uses off-the-shelf components from Arduino and other sources. This is KIOT 9000 part 1. That was and this is based on a microcontroller using microcontroller OLED. Let's see, A to D, and then you can see it has two input parallel ports and 3 output parallel ports. So you could also do additional control. Again, this will be available October 1st. Just starting to code these into a PCB format using KiCad 7. And this is a mock-up of the passive. Let me get the passive board with me just a minute here. Hold on. Now this is a mock-up of this breadboard that you see as to how it's supposed to look once it is put in PCB production. You can see it's much shorter, and it'll be. And this is a passive board, so you don't need a microcontroller. And another project I'm working on is that's gonna be put in on PCB board. This is the K portable AI knowledge processor. It has 16 keys. It has a direct uses ESP8266 with a built-in LED, and has EPROMs to store, and also I'm planning to make a version that has removable EPROMs. This will allow you to do different types of AI languages, solving, and as the thing says here, KIOT for ITS and others. So a lot of things have been done in the Kanecki workshop, in the KIOT workshop. We are trying to do things faster. It's just we're working on the budget, so it's only so much a month. And so far, any contributions, if anyone who wished to make some, would be welcomed. We do support open source, and we do share with open source, as we are on GitHub and on SourceForge. The thing about this, so is what I like about the makerspace and Arduino and others is that basically it's wonderful how someone that just has an interest can really build up the skills quickly, by forums, users groups, YouTube videos. Like Becky Stern does a great series of YouTube videos. The one person from the drone workshop, I'm sorry I forgot his name. I'm better at faces than I am names. It's just a mental issue I have. I have trouble remembering names, but I remember faces. But he does a great series of videos. And there's also another person that's from Germany who does a great series of videos. So in the same style as Becky, and also she's also humorous like that, about where she did demonstrate one time what we did when Professor Ghostberg had us strictly miswire a chip, so that we knew what a chip smelled, what a chip would act like if it was miswired. The odor, the burning, of the ceramic and stuff, because it does smell. It does smell like rotten eggs, and it does sound like you're frying eggs. So if you put a circuit, go, what happens? Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Just remember, just unplug the circuit. It'll cool down. And the other thing is, do not throw water, because on electronics, water will cause the thing to become worse. Just don't panic. And when you touch the circuit, the way you can tell if you have a circuit miswired, if you touch it and your finger snaps back, you have it miswired, even if it's 3.3 volts or 5 volts. But as long as you remember, basically the notched end is always on the left-hand side. Notched end is always on the left-hand side. The unnotched end is always on the right-hand side. So when you're looking down, notched end on the left-hand side, unnotched end on the right-hand side. So and with the projects, I've done about 11 projects so far. I sort of focused on these 4, and let me just get my first. This was the first test PCB board that I did just to try my wire wrapping skills. I used an ESP8266 linked with the EEPROM, an I2C EEPROM. You can see this is taped together along with an LED. And let's just move this a little closer. And now the first project I did, let's see if I can get this out here. Just a minute. Let's see. Whoops. Well, okay, I'll just leave it. The first project I did was an Arduino, using an Arduino Uno R3 and controlling, hooking up to a temperature sensor. Did a differential analysis of lights. I'll show that in another video at another time, like that. That's my first one that I did. So with the makerspace, things are improving. I'm planning to get a 3D printer soon, and also I'm working on getting a bigger monitor, so that when I do the CAD work with KiCad, I can work on a bigger screen, don't have to squint. As a thought to many people who use computers. In my generation, when I started computer science in the late 1970s and early 1980s, we had to squint at these old type computer screens with the very small print and the amber or green print, and what happens right now, I'm 61, and it's not because I'm old. And a lot of people might be say, well, you're actually a spring chicken, because one person might be is actually 103. It's because basically, when you get older, you don't want to squint at stuff. So what I do is I set my computer monitor at least 150% or 200% type, or if you're using fonts, 16 to 18 font type. Even though you're younger, it actually, your eyes will thank you in the future, because basically, and even it will thank you now, because you won't have the eye strain, you won't get the tiredness if you're working on a computer terminal for a long time. So just something to think about. You know, font at 16 to 18 font, or your computer screen at 150 to 200 magnification. Even if you're still in your 20s or 30s, something your eyes will thank you. Well, this has been an update on the KIOT and Kanecki makerspace, and I'm trying to add a link for Becky Stern, so you can see some of the work that she does, and also for the one-person Drone Bot workshop. In the next video, I'll have both names available. It's just I just have, like I said before, I remember faces better than I remember names. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching, and you can reach me on X at Diana1A, or on Facebook at DianaK.2007. Diana, then KAY.2007. I mean, DianaK.2017. Let me repeat that. DianaK.2017.